The 7th and 8th episodes for Maul Shadowlord have released, and it sets up for what should be a beautiful finale, where I still have faith we will see Darth Vader. Devin, Riley, and Maul are all trying to find some type of escape as they're on the run from Iraq and the Empire, as we see this episode pick up right after episode 6. The Empire now knows it's dealing with 3 Force users, 2 of which are Jedi, so security is tighter than usual. Once again, we can thank Two Boots for this mess. We still don't know exactly who Marak was speaking with at the end of episode 6, while I do still believe that it was Vader, but we do know that it ended up resulting in another Inquisitor being deployed on Janx with the 11th brother. I do want to mention I have a video on my channel explaining more in detail about the 11th brother and Marak, so definitely go check that out. Now we've seen the 11th brother before, as he lost to Ahsoka in Tales of the Jedi, so we are familiar with him and his fighting style. During this time, Riley did get taken into Imperial custody, which leads Two Boots to make a very important decision, but we will touch on that more in a little bit. I want to focus on the big battle scene that happened at the end of episode 7, as Maul and forces aim to make an escape off of Janx, and the Empire is waiting for them right outside of his ship, where a very Clone Wars-esque battle occurs. We see gunships roll in with stormtroopers being deployed, and both Inquisitors arrive on the scene to take on Maul. Now, Maul and the Inquisitors have been separated from the rest of the battle, as the 3 of them have been drawn into this cave away from the rest of the fighting. And now that the 3 of them are separated, Maul tries to split the 2 Inquisitors up in order to deal with them each one-on-one. Now we get to something that's very interesting to see, because I don't want to say Maul is struggling here, but I do feel he isn't fighting as well as he should be. Maul is extremely powerful and full of rage, and these Inquisitors, I don't believe, are anywhere near his level of power, and even though Maul fights them at times as a 2-on-1 battle, I still think Maul should be able to handle both of them, and there's no need for this to be a Palpatine type of situation where he might hold back on someone he's dueling with. Here, it's life or death for Maul, where he needs to try and take these guys out, while the Inquisitors are also trying to take out Maul. I just don't see a way in which Maul could not defeat either one of them. It's important to mention that his leg once again has been compromised. Even though it was repaired, it did get damaged again, so maybe that is something to do with the issues, but I still feel that Maul should have had an easier time dealing with them than we've seen. Doesn't matter if it's a 1-on-1 situation or 2-on-1, he really couldn't do as much as I felt he should have. We see Maul about to be defeated by the 11th brother before one of his followers in Scorn runs through the cave and saves him, where he surprise attacked and decked the 11th brother, knocking him down. Scorn turns his back to look at Maul and Marak, but before he can even blink, he is stabbed in the back by the 11th brother, and this reminded me a whole lot of how the end of Savage Opress came along in the Clone Wars when Palpatine put an end to him. I mean, I think my reaction here says it all. No! Dang! It's like Savage Opress 2.0 basically right there. Damn 11th brother. We can see Maul and Icarus both in disbelief, as Icarus lets out a huge yell as we see Scorn's body flung off the edge into what is only assumed to be a huge body of water. And Maul, in a fit of rage, pulls down rubble from the cave that they were in, where it's almost like, where was this anger and aggression earlier when you could have taken out both Inquisitors, where you had the upper hand, you had a lightsaber in your hand, and we all know that you're way more powerful than them. Now I will say, while I disagree with, let's just call it power scaling in episode 7 for Maul and the Inquisitors, it does lead us to have a really cool scene in episode 8 with Darth Maul having these visions of his childhood and his entire life. We see Maul walking through what is almost like a sandstorm, and he sees himself as a child in a reflection of what can be seen as a puddle, and then we see Palpatine taking him from Dathomir with a young Savage Opress at his side, upset that his brother was leaving him. Then we see some training happen between the Sith Lord and Darth Maul as Palpatine abuses Maul using Force lightning on him. Seeing these clips was really interesting, and giving us a look at Maul's life as a child and learning the ways of the dark side is something that I am so happy we were able to see in an animated series, which is just so cool seeing more backstory behind Darth Maul. And yes, it makes more sense why they had Maul lose that battle in episode 7 in order to build up to this remarkable, really cool scene. Adding on to the visions, we see a sped up version of his life. We see him from childhood, we see a young Kenobi charging at Maul, and then we see him on the trash planet of Lotho Minor, and then we even see Savage Opress being defeated by Sidious, as I mentioned earlier in the Clone Wars. So many iconic moments from Darth Maul's life packed into just 1.5 to 2 minutes of an episode. It was really a work of art. Now, going back to Riley being in custody, we see Two Boots starting to understand the consequences of what he had done. Being threatened to be reprogrammed by Lieutenant Blake, another officer starts to tell Two Boots that Chief Kleiss, who he thought was sent off world and would be back, isn't around anymore as the Empire took her out. This was basically the wake-up call that Two Boots needed in order to say, man, what did I do? I need to help out the Lawsons and get Riley back to his father. And not to mention, they even made Two Boots take off the boots, which with everything the Empire has done in Star Wars, that might be the worst of the worst. So it was really nice to see Two Boots go against the orders from the Empire, break Riley out, and reunite him with Devin, Master Daki, and his father. And this is all going to have a spiraling effect on the Empire because now they are increasingly frustrated because they're not making any progress in stopping any of the 3 Force users on Janx that they're here to take care of. We find out that the Lawson's friend Rena has been compromised by the Empire as they were on their way to a shuttle to get off-world, where she used a code word that Lawson picked up on that meant she was compromised, and even both of the Jedi knew that something was off. Having them escape and not being at the shuttle to be captured by the Empire is even more frustrating as they could have captured 2 of the 3 Force users, and this is just a bad look. Darth Vader is in charge of the Inquisitors, and Darth Vader is going to have to answer to Palpatine, if he even cares, which he probably does, of why there is still havoc on Janx and how these 2 Inquisitors have yet to do anything, if not make things even worse on Janx. If I'm Palpatine or Vader right now, I'm seriously annoyed, and every time I'm getting an update from either it's Marak or the 11th brother, or if it's Lieutenant Blake, whoever it is on Janx, every time I hear we've engaged with Maul or whoever, and it's the same story of they got away, I'm mad. You send all of these reinforcements, you have the planet on complete lockdown, nobody can get on or off world, you've engaged with Maul multiple times, you've engaged with Daki and Devin multiple times, and yet you've yet to capture one of them. I think in episode 9, we will see another failed attempt on either the Jedi, Maul, or maybe all 3 of them, and that is when in episode 10, Vader's going to say, you know what, I've had enough, I don't need to be yelled at by Palpatine anymore, I'm going to do things my way. He's going to show up on world, and this is where we're going to have an epic duel between Maul, Devin, and Master Daki. It's a bad look for Vader, as the Inquisitors haven't done anything, and I think that we're going to see Maul's leg give out in the fight. Vader could exploit this injury, and I would assume Master Daki gets taken out in this duel, and that's when Devin is going to have to make her decision, which she will probably end up leaving and retreating with Maul in order to escape from being captured by the Empire. I am rather curious how any of them will manage to escape Vader, even if, and we will have Master Daki and Devin alongside Maul. Vader is still too good. Yes, it is a weaker Darth Vader, as he's only been in the suit and now has to relearn how to fight, and it's only been a year. But he is still stronger than 99.999999% of people at this moment. You add that with the Imperial forces alongside the 2 Inquisitors on world, and the only way I see Maul escaping with his life, as we know he will escape with his life, is, as I mentioned before, with Master Daki being taken out, and they use that as an opportunity to escape, which Devin might be reluctant at first, but she knows just as well as Maul knows that it's going to be now or we're not going to have a chance to see tomorrow. What happens to the Lawsons, Two Boots, and all of them? I don't know. Will they be a part of season 2? Maybe, maybe not. We will find out here in a little bit. But all I know is that it's going to be a great final 2 episodes, and I can't believe we're already approaching the season finale. It's going to be insane. I'm loving the show so much, and it's such a fun time. But let me know what you think about the show so far and your predictions for the final 2 episodes. I am looking forward to talking about it with you guys, reacting to it. It's going to be a wild time, and I need season 2 right now. So don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more content, leave your comments and predictions down below, and I will see you in the next one.